It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, a good day, everybody. I'm Brad Miller, and happy to welcome you to County-Wide. And we're very pleased to welcome into studio guests that have been on this program in years past. And as the temperatures cool just a little bit and the October calendar turns over to this Halloween-ish type month, by golly, some folks are starting to think about the Toys for Tots program, nationally recognized as a worthwhile charity and vocation for a lot of people to take part in bringing some holiday cheer to youngsters in need in our communities. I'm joined this morning by Leonard and Karen Barrow, coordinators with Sedona Toys for Tots. And Leonard, we'll say good morning to you. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Brad. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you come and talk. And we'll chat with Karen here in just a moment. I want to talk, well, first of all, Toys for Tots, I think most people are familiar with the phrase. We'll explain a little more about what it means and how it can affect you, our listeners, this morning. But Toys for Tots recently acknowledged as the recipient of a pretty significant national award. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We were selected as the Campaign of the Year for Region 6, which is the 10 western states plus Guam. And we were hosted back at a big gathering up in Washington, D.C. 2 weeks ago, and we received this along with the other 5 award winners from the other regions in there. Okay. And it was quite a nice operation and a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And
the award recognized what exactly? Just contribution or?
It recognizes a lot of things. There's a typical, because Toys for Tots is really part of the 4th Marine Division, which are the reserves, okay. And they have an awful lot of paperwork to do. And by keeping things in order, fundraising, which is really not one of our main goals here with Toys for Tots, but handling our toys. We had a visit from a couple of the people from the foundation last year during our campaign. They looked us over pretty well. And out of the blue, we get this phone call saying, guess what? You're the Region 6 winners this year.
Well, good. It's really great when you're acknowledged for something it wasn't kind of a competition in your minds.
Not at all.
That you weren't really playing the game to get, numbers up or whatever the criteria is, where you're acknowledged because you just did it because that's how you do it.
You're right.
So congratulations. That's something to be very proud of.
Well, thank you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, if there are folks who are unfamiliar with Toys for Tots as a program generically. It is what? It is simply getting together youngsters who may have some disadvantages in our communities and trying to brighten them up at holiday time with a gift, correct?
Right, yeah. And another thing about this, Toys for Tots have been around a while. You were mentioning that. This year is the 75th anniversary of Toys for Tots. It began with a reserve unit in Los Angeles in 1947, right after World War II, when there were a lot of people out that were in bad shape financially and couldn't even find homes for most of the part. These Marine reserves gathered over 5,000 toys and refurbished them and distributed them that year. Then the Marine Corps looked it over and said, hey, what a great program, and they adopted it the following year. Toys for Tots is still expanding. We have a program now that our new CEO is putting in for literacy, and all during the school or during this year, they are trying to get books into kids' hands. Sometimes the books that we give them, it's the only book they've ever had that was personally theirs.
Wow.
And as we know, they just announced it this week that Arizona is dropped quite a bit as far as on the schools because of the pandemic not being in school. They're 2 years behind now.
Yeah.
So this is one of the big goals for Toys for Tots is the book and the reading programs.
Well, that's terrific. Let's go to ask Karen a little bit. If there are, and there definitely are, folks listening right now who say, well, I've heard of Toys for Tots, but I think I'd like to in some way contribute or be a part of the program. Do you need monetary resources? Can specific toys be donated? Start me off if I want to join up that way.
We could use help with almost everything. So if they want to make a donation, they can go to a monetary donation. They can go to our website.
Okay.
And there's right there on the website, the Sedona Toys for Tots website, there's a donate button. It'll go to our local campaign. There's different businesses that have coin collection boxes.
Sure.
Most of them will have toy collection boxes, and those go out on November 1st, or the first week in November. They get picked up pretty early. They get picked up on December 8th.
Okay.
So
barely a month.
Yeah, you
just about a month.
have to get it in there early.
Okay.
Let's see, what else did you ask?
Well, I was going to say there may be some people who, when they're kind of doing their own shopping for their little ones or grand little ones, that perhaps want to collect something else. What makes if someone wants to make a specific toy donation? Do they need to fall? Are there age appropriate? What kind of criteria do I need to consider when I'm doing that?
Well, we serve kids from newborn up to 14 years old.
Okay, so a little of everything.
So a little bit of everything.
Okay.
When we get the toys, when the toys come into our secret workshop,
right? Santa's
secret workshop, then we sort them out by gender and age and put them out on tables by those. And with the funds that we get, we generally purchase toys or items for oldest kids, 11 to 14.
Okay.
And most of the donations tend to be for the younger kids.
Mm-hmm. Demand by older kids is going to be for things that maybe have a few more bells and whistles typically.
They do.
Sure.
Yes, they do. We also do a bicycle distribution day.
Okay.
And that's for littler kids. So that goes for kids that are 4 to 8 years old.
Okay. Okay. So that's a broad range, really. I didn't realize that the upper age limit was kind of 14.
Well, it varies with each campaign, but that's where we go up to age 14.
Okay. Okay. Terrific. And then, is there any, in addition to all of these kinds of things, clearly this is largely donor driven. Mm-hmm. That kind of support. Are there any additional pieces of funding through whatever, federal grant monies, state grant monies, anything like that?
There are. We have in the past gotten a grant through the city of Sedona.
Okay.
At this point, we didn't apply for it because we had enough funds. So we didn't need to apply for it. We do have a fundraiser coming up in November. It's November 13th. And it's at Sedona Wins Retirement. They're holding an Italian dinner fundraiser.
Okay.
So it's $35 a person. It's on November 13th, and all the funds go to Sedona Toys for Tots.
Okay, terrific.
So they are donating the dinner.
Sedona Winds is in the village of Oak Creek?
It's in the village of Oak Creek.
Yeah, okay. I'm familiar. Okay. Well, terrific. So we'll want to mark our calendars for that if we want to be a part of it. Again, just kind of checking the website, toysfortots.org. Very comprehensive, but let's point out that you're here representing the Sedona chapter.
Exactly.
Toys for Tots. There are others that exist in the Verde Valley, and I know if you go to the website, you can kind of do that and make the donations or inquiries that is appropriate maybe to your specific community if that kind of thing is important to you. I think a lot of us do kind of largely look at this area as this area, Sedona, Verde Valley, kind of this side of the mountain as folks in the Prescott, Chino areas will kind of say. We do have our little divisions. Some of them are great big mountains. Let's take just a short break. It is countywide. Our guests today, Leonard and Karen Barrow. Sedona Toys for Tots. Terrific cause. We'll talk more about it on Countywide right after this.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Service for over 25 years and continues to serve the communities in northern Arizona. Jackson Hewitt is here to help you file your personal taxes. As laws and situations change, your local Jackson Hewitt Tax Service professional stays updated to serve you. Drop off or make an in-person appointment. In Flagstaff, call 213-8626. That's 213-8626. That's 213-8626.
The award-winning experts at Verde Solar Services offer the trusted carrier products that help you customize a solution to fit your budget. Verde Solar is a family-owned business serving the Verde Valley for 38 years with the carrier products you can rely on. Carrier AC systems are trusted to bring energy-efficient, quiet, consistent comfort. Call 928-567-5315 for a free assessment of your AC and air quality needs. Verde Solaire Services, online at verdesolaire.com, a factory authorized Carrier dealer.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Matthias Sandoval, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure your goals are top of mind. While you can't control the market volatility, we'll focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 634-1044.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
And good day, and welcome back to the program. Brad Miller with you this morning. Leonard and Karen Barrow here. Sedona Toys for Tots, toysfortots.org. I think most of us are familiar with the name of the program. I want to ask a little bit more, though, Karen, about how it works. We talked about donors and kind of that side of it. How do you go about identifying kids who might want to take part, or their moms, dads, families that might want to take part in terms of being recipients? Is there any kind of criteria? Do I have to fill out a form or an application of any kind, or how does that all work?
Well, starting next week, West Sedona School will be sending home applications, registration forms. Okay, and the other schools in Sedona, they can contact their administration too. They all have the information. The Sedona Food Bank is going to be starting to register people. St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry will start registering people. You can also register your family online.
Okay, through the website.
Through the website. So you just go to the website, request a toy, and fill out the registration form, and you'll get a reply, and that's how it works.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about the registration form itself, especially is there in there anywhere or through any of this process a family's need to express or indicate some kind of need? Is there are there financial questions on the app?
We do try to serve families that need toys.
Understood. Sure.
We don't ask for a lot of documentation.
Okay.
So through the schools, West Sedona schools, I believe it's about 70% are on the free and reduced lunch list. So they vet the families that register, and the same thing with the food bank and St. Vincent de Paul. They vet the families that register. And a lot of it's on the honor system, too.
Which has worked.
It's worked.
For decades, that has worked, for this program. Proof that I've always believed that most people are good. Mm-hmm. And there's always one bad apple somewhere, but by and large, I think this is a program that people just don't take advantage of. And it works out the way it should. You think about that, and you think about bringing smiles to kids who might not otherwise have one, and who wants to get in and try to be a ne'er-do-well amid all of that kind of thing. Now, the registration is a component of that. As we start to see the boxes appearing in different locations, and boy, there's going to be a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. It sounds like that all starts again when?
The boxes will go out the first week in November.
First week in November, and then they're out till December 8th.
December 8th, so they get picked up pretty early.
Okay, and those there's too many locations specifically to say, but typically they'll be, I assume, in public spaces.
They'll be in a lot of the Bash's grocery store. There's going to be a new location this year at the West Sedona Library.
Okay.
So they'll have some boxes there. I believe the other new location is the Mary Fisher Theater.
Okay.
It's going to host a box this year. They're in most public, like Walgreens and Bash's, places like that. A lot of local businesses just have a box, and most of their employees put in toys. Seven Canyons Resort has a huge golf event and a big party, and they donate tons of toys.
I was going to say, in addition, you mentioned the Sedona Winds event. Are there other kinds of either fundraisers or toy drives or connected specifically with your chapter?
There's going to be another fundraiser through the Sedona Fire District, but I don't have the date yet.
Okay.
But Mark Feeney is one of the firefighters. He's done this the last 2 years, and he rides his bike for 12 hours straight and takes online donations. Last year he did it, and he got other firefighters to join him. But he is a professional bike rider, and so this is a big deal. 12 hours straight. It's as far as going to Phoenix and back.
Wow. Okay. Does he ride a course around town or a track?
No, it's a
stationary?
A stationary bike with a computerized program that shows the course as he's... And there's a lot of other bike riders that are on the same course through the computer.
Okay. Do the other fire guys come and throw buckets of water at him and try to hassle him?
Well, he talked him in last year. He talked him into taking shifts, so he wasn't so lonely out there riding by himself. So
protecting our communities all the time is part of the job, and then doing things like this over and above. So we salute him and like-minded folks. I got another question for Leonard I wanted to kind of ask. Simply, why are you involved in this? You seem like someone who's got other ideas and things that you could keep busy with. Why Toys for Tots? Why is that in your heart?
It's the old thing, my drill instructor in the Marine Corps always warned us, don't volunteer. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we had a guy that was trying to run all kinds of fundraisers and everything like that. And so a new commandant comes in and he says, well, I want to take the load off this guy's back. So who volunteers to do this or who volunteers to do that? And after all the chairs collapsed and everything and everybody jumping up to volunteer, I was the only one that did. Mm-hmm. So I kind of inherited it. And Karen came on board because somebody needed to do all the paperwork.
Okay.
And so we've had it ever since. Both of us were school teachers.
Okay.
And that... it's just our love for kids, and especially the kids that are in Sedona. It's just been kind of a magnetic thing, and it grows every year. The volunteers are incredible that we have. We've got some people that's been with us ever since.
Yeah,
and we just constantly get new people coming in.
Yeah,
and you were talking about the box people. We're already getting people emailing us wanting to know when they're going to get their box.
Okay.
Because, it's a big thing in Sedona.
Businesses and different places that want to get it rolling.
You bet.
Yeah, sure. It's like I said at kind of the top of the show, when we start to get to a certain point in the season, when there's just, I don't know if it's 52 degrees at night and the windows are open while we're sleeping, but something tells us that certain kinds of things just kind of kick in. You mentioned you're both school teachers. I think that this plays in, to folks, families who, for whatever reason, are disadvantaged, and how much poverty can play into a child's education and how much it can detract. You have been on the front lines of that, and Toys for Tots can be a little piece of a bigger remedy for families struggling that way. Talk to me about that.
I had a couple of kids, and they were twins, not identical twins. One was a boy, one was a girl. Just great kids, good students, always there. And it wasn't until after that year was over that I found out that they'd been living about 6 months out of their car. Now, this was back in the early 80s.
Okay.
So this homelessness business isn't something recent. It's been around.
Sure.
And somehow they wind up in Sedona. I guess it's because of the weather in wintertime or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I've had several kids like that I find out after the fact that that's the situation that they were in.
Wow.
And I can just imagine, when Christmas comes around, what a bad time because they had the big whoopla at school, and then they go home and maybe they don't have anything.
Right, even a home.
That's right.
Perhaps it's a car or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's clear. It's easy to see that you're very committed to this, the both of you, and we are very, very happy that you are. We need to take another break. When we come back, some kind of concluding thoughts, and again, we'll repeat those websites and those kinds of addresses so that anybody who wants to take part in Toys for Tots can do so this year. With Sedona Toys for Tots, Leonard and Karen Barrow, I'm Brad Miller. Countywide is back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley for 38 years, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust, designed, engineered, and built in the USA. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates on systems that are quiet and affordable. Verde Solaire is locally owned since 1983 and available for all your heating, air conditioning, and plumbing needs. Call 928-567-5315. Visit them online at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Taxes, taxes, taxes.
It's that time again. This is Lewis with Rice Accounting Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. We don't sell cars, we don't do hair or wait tables. We do taxes. At Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, we talk taxes and we prepare taxes. Open year-round for tax filings. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona. For over 20 years, our local preparers have helped neighbors pay their fair share and no more.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service in the Tri-Cities at 772-7872. That's 772-7872.
Welcome back to the program. It is Countywide. Karen and Leonard Barrow here today. Sedona Toys for Tots. And you can look online, toysfortots.org. It is a national organization closely affiliated with the United States Marine Corps. And there are other chapters in the community. Some of them will do things a little differently in terms of timeframes, dates, and things like that. For Sedona Toys for Tots, that's what we're talking about today, and you can find those specifics at the website, toysfortots.org. Great website. Go to the menu, and you can pretty easily, I think, navigate from there. But if not, Karen, remind us one more time, those distribution or collection, I guess, boxes, they'll be coming out November 1, and again, they'll be peppered kind of in many of the public spaces in Sedona.
Right. The toy collection boxes go out the first week in November.
Okay.
And get picked up on December 8th. And registration for families that need toys actually opens October 15th. So they can go online to the website, register there, or register through their school, or through the food bank, things like that.
And when we're talking about toys, it's we might you go from kind of newborns all the way up to age 14. Perhaps if you have children in that range, it might be most common for people to pick toys that are kind of fit along with their own needs and things like that. I'm assuming we're talking new and unwrapped.
Oh, definitely.
Toys,
they need to be brand new toys, unwrapped toys.
Yeah. I mean, just, that's what the kids are going to look forward to. That's certainly true. Something new and shiny, yes. But sometimes things can be broken and become unsafe or just germs and things like that. So used things, even lightly used, we want to kind of stay away from. Yeah, okay. Again, we can find direction and things like that. And then the distribution will occur when? Over time? Or is there
the distribution starts about December 8th and is usually done about December 16th or 18th. Okay. It has to be finished pretty much before the kids go on break from school.
Okay, sure. That makes sense.
Now, if we get a last-minute request, we will do our best to try and fill it.
Okay, terrific. Well, we appreciate it. You bring in a little bit of early holiday spirit and holiday cheer, and we would hope that would infect everybody listening today and become a donor, a contributor in some way. Support Sedona Toys for Tots. Our guests today, Leonard and Karen Barrow, toysfortots.org. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.